My name's Paul Heslop. I am the Senior Technical Advisor on Mine Action and Bomb Disposal to the United Nations in Ukraine. My job is very much to try and work with the Ukrainian government to find solutions, to be as effective and as cost efficient as possible, to remove what is, widely considered to be probably the most significant mine contamination or unexploded ordnance contamination in the world since the Second World War. We're working very closely with the Ukrainian government to find innovative solutions using new technologies or using old technologies in new ways, or trying to think in new ways to deal with what is an old problem, which is anti-personnel mines and unexploded bombs. We're doing this by looking at different technology platforms, different software models, different applications of that, and we're working with academic institutions, government institutions, not-for-profits, and entrepreneurs. And we're finding, the program in Ukraine to be groundbreaking in many ways. I have over 30 years experience, and for me, every day is a school day. I'm learning new things, and I'm bringing old lessons to the game, and I think we're starting to find some solutions that work. One thing I would say is, Ukraine actually has two problems. There is the problem of land that is contaminated, and that is really very heavily contaminated, and will require a lot of technical solutions and will be quite expensive. There is also a lot of land that is perceived to be contaminated that actually isn't contaminated. It's got very low density, maybe one item per 100,000 meters, maybe one item per square kilometer. And it may be an item that, although it's explosive, is not as sensitive as an anti-personnel mine. So what we're trying to do there is use techniques that will confirm there is either no evidence of mines or there is a very low risk to the land user, normally a farmer, so that they can get on and plough that land and return it to economic use. Because one of the problems of the Ukraine conflict is it has directly affected global food prices and global energy prices. And so in a sense there is an artificial tax on every human being in the world who consumes energy or eats food, which is all of us. So if there's a way that we can remove that tax, which is i.e. remove the perceived land that is not contaminated and return that to the farmers or back to productive use, we will see a significant change in global food and energy prices, which benefits us all. At the other end of the spectrum, there are these areas that are very, very highly contaminated. And again, can we use new technology, new sensors to identify exactly where the mines and explosive devices are, as quickly and as efficiently as possible, using perhaps AI that is tied into different sensors, and when you layer those sensors together, that allows you, perhaps in one pass or two or three passes of a UAV or a different robotic device, that will come back and say, there is a signal here, 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 you can ignore the rest of the field. And then we know we only have to clear a few devices, increasing efficiency dramatically. The other thing, of course, is that, clearing these devices is very expensive. And so if we can reduce that, then it reduces the amount of money the world needs to provide to Ukraine. But ultimately, probably to solve this problem, because it's going to take many years, Ukraine will start to need to borrow money to pay for this. And if we can reduce the amount of debt that Ukraine has, obviously that is going to be great, not just for today's people of Ukraine, but probably the grandchildren of the people who are living in Ukraine.